Okay, so we have ended at question number 10. And we will be starting from question number 11. Hassan didn't join. Hassan, are you joining from another device? Yes, Hassan. Hassan, are you joining from another device?
No, sir.
Okay, now question number 11. The relative formula masses of 4 compounds are given. A student has 1.0 times sample of each compound. Okay, so they have provided you 4 different compounds with their formula masses, and the student have a sample of 1 gram of mass of each compound. Which sample contains the highest number of moles of oxygen atoms? Okay, so 1 divided by 102 will give you the moles of aluminum oxide, and to find the highest number of oxygen atoms you have to make it times 3, because one formula contains 3 oxygen. Okay, there are 3 oxygens over there, so when you divide it with the MR you will get the moles of aluminum oxide. Then how many oxygen are there, you will get by the times it 3. In the same way, 1 over 80 into 1 and 1 over 98 into 4, because there are 4 oxygens in sulfuric acid, and 1 over 63 into 3. So I think D would be the answer, because in D there are the numerator is very smaller value. So in D you will get the maximum number of moles. You can do the calculation. You will find out where you are getting the greater value. So the greater value would be for this one. So A, B, and C goes wrong, and D will be your correct answer. Is this clear to everyone? Yes.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
तो हम 16 को नहीं मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे
no,
because
16 will be the mass. They are asking which have the highest number of moles of oxygen atom. So when we divide, 1 gram of each compound is there. So we have to divide with the formula mass. So it will give us some moles of the compound. And when we look at the number of oxygen atoms in each compound, and then we multiply those moles by the number of oxygen atoms to find the moles of oxygen. Okay.
yes sir.
Is it clear, Asad?
Yes sir.
Okay. Now question number 12. How many elements combine to form the compound ammonium sulfate? Okay. Ammonium sulfate is, ammonium is NH4, and the formula of ammonium sulfate is NH4 twice SO4. So how many elements are there? 4 elements are there, right? Nitrogen, hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen. So B will be your correct answer. Now question number 13. An aqueous mixture of copper 2 nitrate and silver nitrate is electrolyzed using a pure copper electrodes. Okay. Write in half equation correctly describe the change occurring at anode. So if you recall, there is an anode, and if you look at the position of copper against silver, so beneath copper there is a mercury, and beneath mercury there is a silver. So it means copper is more reactive Okay, copper is more reactive. So if the copper is more reactive, so in case of silver nitrate as an electrolyte, copper behaves as an active electrode, not an inert electrode. So whenever, if you recall, there is an active electrode, no anion attracted towards anode, instead anode being oxidized. So if anode is of copper, so the change that comes at anode would be that copper, solid copper at anode start dissolving, forming aqueous ions by losing electron. So this would be the change that is taking place at anode, whether it's a copper 2 nitrate or a silver nitrate. So if you see, then these sorry, not this, these three goes wrong, and A is your correct answer. Yes, is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, question number 14. The diagram shows the electrolysis of concentrated and dilute sodium chloride using inert electrodes. Gases are produced and collected in each of the test tube W, X, Y, and Z. Okay. Which statements are correct? Statement number 1. Uh, 1 minute, please. Approximately equal volumes of gas are produced and collected in test tube W and X. Okay. There is a sodium chloride. So when there is a aqueous sodium chloride, so at this one is the positive and this one is the negative, right? So here hydrogen is being collected and here chlorine is being collected. If you look at the equation of formation of hydrogen, so 2 moles of electron are being used to form 1 mole of hydrogen gas. In the same way, 2 moles of electrons are being released when 1 mole of chlorine is formed. So yes, the statement is correct because there are equal moles on both half equation and equal moles of electron are there and equal moles of both the elements are there. So the volume would be equal. And here it's a aqueous, dilute aqueous sodium chloride. So here we will get a hydrogen and here we will get a oxygen. So if you look at the equation for the formation of hydrogen, so 2 moles of electrons are giving you 1 mole of a hydrogen, but in case of hydroxide ion, what would happen? Oxygen is being formed by release of 4 moles of electron. So if there are 4 moles and there we have a 2 moles, so if I have to turn it into 4, so I have to multiply the above equation with 2, so it gives me 4. 4 and 2. So see, when both have equal moles, 2 moles of hydrogen is being formed and 1 mole of oxygen is being formed. So in Y and Z, there are no equal moles. So then the volume of the gas collected is also not equal. Approximately equal volume of gases are produced and collected in test tube Y and Z. Second statement is wrong, and if second statement is wrong, so see A, B, and C all three goes wrong. So you don't need to work on the third statement. You will start B and go wrong. Is this clear? Yes. If anyone have any doubt or any confusion, do ask.
No, sir.
No,
Okay, just give me a minute, please. Now, question number 15. Which positive ions are present in aqueous copper 2 sulfate? Okay, it's aqueous copper 2 sulfate, so hydrogen ion and copper ions. They are asking for the positive ions. So A goes wrong, C and D also goes wrong, and B is your correct answer because these are the only two ions which are positive ones. Okay. So now 16. These statements refers to hydrogen and its use as a fuel. Okay. Both water and hydrocarbon can be used as a source of hydrogen. Yes, because water on electrolyzing produces hydrogen and hydrocarbon on cracking can produce hydrogen. In a fuel cell, hydrogen reacts with oxygen to generate electricity. Yes, that's what is happening. The hydrogen and the oxygen is being reacting with each other. The reaction taking place in a fuel cell is a redox reaction. Yes, it is. Why? Because hydrogen is an element having an oxidation number of 0 and oxygen is an element having an oxidation number of 0, forming H2O, where hydrogen being oxidized and oxygen being reduced. So all three statements are correct, which makes A, B, and C wrong, and D is your correct answer. If anyone have any doubt, do ask. Now question number 17. Ethanol is produced by fermentation of glucose from sugarcane. In some countries, ethanol is used as a fuel. Which statement are correct? Sugarcane is a non-renewable infinite source. It's a renewable, so one goes wrong. And if one goes wrong, so A and C are completely wrong. Okay. Neither one nor two. When sugarcane is growing, it removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Yes, it does photosynthesis. So D goes wrong as well. And your B answer is correct. Yeah. Now, question number 18. Which changes will speed up a chemical reaction? Decreasing the pressure in a reaction? No, decreasing pressure never speeds up the reaction. Increasing the size of solid particles? Yes. The increase in size or decrease in size increases the rate of reaction. Increase in size lowers the surface area, and decrease in size of the particles will increase the surface area. If you are taking a larger dump and you are taking the powder, which will react faster. So powder have a smaller size particles, right? So statement 2 is wrong. Increasing temperature, yes. Increasing the concentration of solution, yes. So A, B, and D are the wrong options, and C is the correct one. Now, question number 19, magnesium reacts with dilute sulfuric acid. Here we have a question. Two experiments are carried out at 25 degrees Celsius. 24-gram powdered magnesium is reacted with 100 centimeter cube of 1 mole per dm cube sulfuric acid, and 24-gram powdered magnesium is reacted with 50 centimeter cube of 2 mole per dm cube sulfuric acid. If you see here, it is more concentrated solution in the second experiment, then this one is a relatively diluted. So during each experiment, the volume of hydrogen produced is measured. The results are plotted on the graph. Which graph is correct? So experiment 2 have a dotted line. Experiment 2 have a greater gradient. Okay, but if you find the moles, both have an equal number of moles, because 100 and 1 mole per dm and 50 and 2 mole per dm, it will find the moles you will get the equal number of moles. Okay, their multiple will be the same. So it means if the moles are equal and the masses of magnesium are equal, then the volume of hydrogen produced in both the experiments would be equal, which makes C and D clearly wrong. Now you have to choose between A and D, A and B. The experiment 2 must be a faster one. Experiment 2 must be faster one, because in experiment 2 we have used concentrated solution, right? So it means the gradient of the experiment 2 would be greater, which is the case in A, not in B. The dotted line represents the experiment 2. Here you have a key. So A is your correct answer. Now, question number 20. In which equation the change in underlying species is correct? Okay. If you look at here carbon is -4 and here carbon is +4. So yes, it's an oxidation. Statement 1 is correct. If you look over here sulfur is -2 and sulfur is 0. So it's oxidation again. It's oxidation, right? Loss of electron is taking place. So it's not reduction. Statement 2 goes wrong. Bromide is -1, which turns into bromine with a 0 oxidation number. So again, it's not a reduction, it's an oxidation. So 3 goes wrong, which means B, C, and D are the wrong one, and A is your correct answer. Yes, Asad, Rayyan, Abdullah, and Hassan, if anybody have any doubt till question number 20, do ask. Or is it clear
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, question number 21. The Haber process converts nitrogen and hydrogen into ammonia. Here we have a chemical equation which Roy is correct. Change in condition and position of equilibrium. Okay, if you recall that delta H, the enthalpy change for this reaction is negative. Okay. So if we increase the pressure, equilibrium shifts to the right, because on right side there are less moles of gases, and increasing pressure favors the position to be shifted over there where there are lesser number of moles of gas. So here they said pressure is increased, move to the left, that goes wrong. Pressure is reduced, no change, that is again wrong. Catalyst present, moves to the right, catalyst does not affect the position. So your D option is correct. 22. Which raw shows the pH values for 0.1 mole per day solutions of ammonia, hydrochloric acid, sodium chloride, and sodium hydroxide? So if you recall, it is a weak base, it is a strong acid, it is a salt, and it is a strong base. So being a strong acid, hydrochloric acid, its pH would be closer to 1 or 1. So see over here, in these two cases, I am figuring out that these two are the wrong ones. So A and D goes wrong. Now, if you look at ammonia, I have mentioned ammonia is, so it can't be 7. So B goes wrong as well. So now you got the correct answer. You are left with only one option, and that must be the correct one. Okay, so question number 22, C is the correct one. 23. Well, neutral, that is a neutral, and that is for salt only. The water in lake is acidic and fish are dying. The water in lake needs to be neutralized. Which compound can be added in excess to neutralize the water in lake? It is already acidic, so we can't use acid. It is just a salt, so we can't add that one. Now we are left with an alkali and a metal carbonate, which is being, what do you think which can be added? Yeah, the solution gets alkaline, so C goes wrong. Calcium carbonate is insoluble, so only calcium carbonate is that is being consumed is the amount of acid present in it. As soon as the amount of the acid is being consumed from the lake, as lake gets neutralized, the rest of the So that's why A is correct answer over here. Now, question number 24. Two incomplete statements about the preparation of an insoluble salt are given. Dash can be used to prepare insoluble salts such as, okay, dash is method. So if you look at, for to prepare an insoluble salt, we use a precipitation method. So D goes wrong. Such as barium nitrate. If you recall, all nitrates are water soluble. So this makes A option wrong. So we have in option number 2, we have to add either lead sulfate. Lead sulfate is a soluble salt. The salt is collected by, if we mix both the reagents, the precipitate would form, and to collect the precipitate, we do filtration. So if you see here, it is written evaporation, which makes B wrong. So you are left with only one option, which is C. So C is the correct one. You don't need to work on the fourth one. That is how you will save your time and move to the next question. Always go for the wrong one first. Okay. Now, question number 25. The Haber process is used to make ammonia at a temperature of 400 degrees Celsius and pressure of 20,000 kilopascals. Okay. The temperature is changed to 500 degrees Celsius and the pressure is kept same. What will be the effect of this change in the production of ammonia? If you recall, the forward reaction is an exothermic. So if I increase the temperature from 400 to 500, the equilibrium will shift to the left. And if equilibrium will shift to the left, the yield of ammonia decreases. It is made in increased rate. Yes, increase in temperature increases the rate. That is correct. The position of equilibrium moves to the left. Yes, very good. So that is your correct answer. Okay. So, but look at the next one. It is made at an increased rate. That is fine. The position of equilibrium moves to the right. That is wrong. It is made at decreased rate. So C and D goes wrong. And A is your correct answer. Now, question number 26. Some properties which indicate the difference in elements are listed. Okay. Their metallic character, number of electron shells in an atom, number of protons in an atom, total number of electrons in an atom. Okay. Which two properties increases across the period in the table? If you look at the periodic table, on the extreme right of the periodic table, you will find non-metals. And on the extreme left of the periodic table, there are metals. So if you are moving from left to right, do the metallic character increases or decreases? Metallic character decreases, which makes first wrong. And if one is wrong, so A and B are wrong. The number of electrons shell in an atom. So across the period, do the shell in an atom increases or the shell remains same? Yeah. If we are in the same period and moving from left to right, do the shell number change? Do the shell change? No. So statement 2 goes wrong, which makes C wrong. Now see, in this way, now you saved your time and you don't have to work on statement 3 and 4. And you got the correct answer, which is D. No, in where in paper it is written. No. Element X and Y combines to form an ionic compound. An atom of X have more protons than atoms of Y. Okay. Atom Y have more valence electrons than. Okay. Okay. If they are saying that Y have a more valence electron, so it means Y would be a negative ion. Or Y is basically a non-metal. And from there, that we can conclude that X is a metal. Is this understandable to everyone? Ions of X are negatively charged. Completely wrong statement. Yes, anyone want to ask something? Atoms of X have more electron shells than atom of Y. Is this correct? Because see, they are saying X have a more protons than Y. So if X have a more protons than Y, then it means the total number of electrons in X would be greater. So there is a possibility. but we have to make sure the rest one are wrong or not. X and Y are in the same period of the periodic table. That is not possible. X and Y are in the same group of the periodic table. That is also not possible. So yes, B is my correct answer for question number 27. Now 28. The elements in group 1 of the periodic table show trends in both their reactivities and their melting point. Both reactivity increases down the group and melting point decreases down the group in group 1. Which statement about rubidium is correct? It has a higher melting point than potassium. If you look at the periodic table, you will find lithium on the top, then sodium, then potassium, then rubidium, then cesium, and then francium. So as I tell you that the melting point decreases down the group, so A statement goes wrong. Okay. It reacts with water to produce an acidic solution. No, group 1 metals always form an alkali. They form metal hydroxide when they dissolve in water, so B goes wrong. It reacts with water to produce oxygen gas. No, hydrogen gas is being formed, not oxygen gas, so C goes wrong as well. It means your D statement is correct. The properties of question number 29. The properties of 4,5 substance are shown. Which substance is a metal? It conducts electricity when dissolved in water, but not when solid, so it's not a metal. It has a high melting point and conducts heat when solid. Yes, it can be a metal, but we have to assure that C and D are wrong or not. It has a low melting point and is brittle. Yes, low melting point can be a metal like group 1, but they are malleable, that are not brittle. So this brittle is telling me that it is not a metal. It has a giant covalent structure, so nothing to consider it because it's a covalent. So it means your B statement is correct. Is this clear to everyone? Yes, Asad, Rayyan, Hassan, and Abdullah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now question number 30. Group 1 elements and transition elements are metals. Okay. Student X suggested that group 1 elements are above hydrogen in the metal reactivity series, but that not all transition elements are. Okay. Student X suggests that group 1 metals are above hydrogen in the metal reactivity series. Yes, that's true. Potassium, sodium are above. But that not all transition elements are. Yes, because zinc, iron, lead are zinc and iron are above hydrogen, but mercury, silver, copper are below hydrogen. A student was suggested that the densities of group 1 elements are lower than those of the transition elements. Yes, this is correct and this is correct. Both statements are actually correct. Which student are correct? Yes, both A, X and Y. So your A option is correct. Now question number 31. Tin is more reactive than lead but less reactive than iron. Okay, so if we try to put it in the reactivity series, so there is a zinc, then iron, then here we have a lead, so it means the place of tin would be over here. Okay, which method would be most suitable for extracting tin from its iron? So if it's below iron but above hydrogen, so it means heating with a carbon. That's what we do for the iron as well. How we extracted iron from its ore in the blast furnace? We use carbon. So electrolysis would be wrong, heating alone would be wrong, reacting with the hydrogen would be wrong, but it can use with the carbon. It can be extracted by carbon. So C is the correct answer. Now question number 32. Attaching pieces of magnesium to underground iron pipes can protect the iron from corrosion. Which reaction protects the iron from corrosion? Okay. Yeah, because this reaction, if you see, because magnesium is actually protecting the iron, so magnesium is losing its electron for the iron. So this cannot be an answer. This cannot be an answer. And here magnesium itself getting reduced, so this can be answered because of this reaction. Magnesium turns into ions losing its electron, and these electrons are deposited, are gained by iron. Due to this iron being prevented from corrosion or rusting. Okay. Yeah. Now, but they are attached to a wire so the electrons can flow easily. Now, question number 33. Which reaction takes place during the extraction of aluminium from aluminium oxide using carbon electrodes? Yes, this would happen at anode or the oxide. This would also happen due to the high temperature. The oxygen forming at anode reacts with the carbon anodes to form carbon dioxide, and as a result, the size of the carbon anodes decreases. That's what we have discussed in the limitations as well. This is wrong because aluminum is +3. So B is your correct answer. Okay. Now, question number 34. Which statement about gases in atmosphere is correct? Carbon monoxide is a pollutant which causes accident. Completely wrong. It's a toxic gas. It causes oxygen starvation in the humans. Catalytic converter reduces carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. Yes, this is happening, but this is not a reduction. This is oxidation. Gain of oxygen is taking place. So you have to, read the statement very carefully. This is happening, but this is not a reduction. Methane in the atmosphere depletes oxygen layer. That is also completely wrong. Photosynthesis adds oxygen to the atmosphere. Yes, because in photosynthesis, oxygen is being produced. So D is the correct answer. Now, question number 35. How many moles of hydrogen chloride are formed when 1 mole of methane reacts with a large excess of chlorine in the sunlight? Who is going to answer me? I have made you to write the net equation for this. See, they are saying large excess of methane. So, large excess of chlorine. So, if there is a large excess of chlorine, so what would happen? All of the hydrogen is being displaced, and you will get finally CCl4. And all the 4 hydrogens would form 4 HCl as well. So it means we need a 4 moles of chlorine, which makes A, B, C wrong, and D is your correct answer. If you look at in your notes, I have made you write this equation as well. The net equation. Further, initially we have discussed when 1 mole of chlorine is reacted with the methane, 1 hydrogen is being displaced, then second, then third, then fourth, and then the overall reaction. Okay. The compound, question number 36. Compound X is shown in the dot and cross diagram. Okay, which statement about compound X is correct? It is a saturated hydrocarbon. Is this correct? Why? What? Look at the diagram and then there is a double bond, so which makes it unsaturated. Alkenes are saturated when there are all single bonds. So A is wrong. It is an isomer of butene. There are only 3 carbon atoms. So this is wrong. It will decolorize bromine water. Yes, it can be correct. Its name is propane. No, its name is propene. So C is your correct answer. Yes, Rayyan, Abdullah, Hassan, and Asad. Anybody have any confusion till here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
If anyone have, do ask, please. Question number 37. Which statement about the alcohols are correct? All alcohols contains hydroxide and yes, is this correct or wrong? That is not an ion. That there is a covalent bond. Remember, ions are when there is an ionic bond. It's a hydroxyl group. The oxygen is bonded with the carbon. Right? There is no hydroxide ion. So statement 1 is wrong. That is a hydroxyl group. You have to understand the difference. OH is considered as hydroxide ion when it's an ionic compound like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, then metal. But when it is bonded to a carbon, there is no ion, there is a covalent bond. So it's a then it is considered as a hydroxyl group. Ethanol can be formed from ethene by using a reaction catalyzed by yeast. No, not at all. So second statement is wrong. So if you see 1 is wrong and second is wrong. Now see, you don't need to work on the other 2. You saved your time, you mark D correct and move on to the next question. So that is how you will save your time in the exam. And ester has the formula of C2H5, COO, C2H5. Which pair of compounds would react together to form this ester? If I will draw a open structure for this one, you will find that it would be this thing. So C double bond O with 2 more carbon atoms makes it propanoate, which comes from propanoic acid. So here is a propanoic acid and here is a propanoic acid, which makes A and D long. Now here there are 2 carbons, which makes it ethyl, and ethyl come from ethanol. So C goes wrong and D is your correct answer. Question number 39. Which statement about polymer is correct? Nylon and terylene both are polyesters. Terylene is polyester, nylon is polyamide. So A is wrong. Proteins and nylon have the same monomer units. No, proteins have amino acids and nylon have a diamine and dicarboxylic acid. Protein have a same amide linkage. Nylon, yes, that is correct. Both have amide linkage. Terylene and fats are esters but with a different linkages. No, if they are esters, so they must have a same linkages. They don't have a different linkages. So your correct answer would be C in this case. Clear? Now question number 40. X is a polymer. When X is hydrolyzed, one of the product is a substance Y. Okay, if you look at this substance Y, here you have a amine group, and here we have a acid group. So it means it's an amino acid, and amino acid is the monomer of. Yes, amino acid is the monomer of protein. Amino acids are the monomer of protein. So which type of polymer is X? Complex carbohydrate, wrong. Fat, wrong. Addition polymer, completely wrong. So C is your answer. It's a protein. So protein is the correct answer. So we have ended the paper. If anybody have any confusion, any problem, any doubt, do ask. Yes, Abdullah, Asad, Hassan, and Rayan. Okay. So let's see. I hope I will try my best to keep a session tomorrow as well. So we will be continuing the past paper tomorrow. Okay. And hopefully at the same time around 7:30. Okay, then take care everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sir.